The Battle of Thermopylae took place against the backdrop of the larger Greco-Persian Wars, a series of conflicts between the Greek city-states and the Persian Empire. The Persians, led by King Xerxes I, sought to extend their dominion over Greece. This clash of civilizations was rooted in the contrasting political systems, cultural identities, and territorial ambitions of the Greeks and Persians. The Greco-Persian Wars marked a turning point in ancient history, as the Greek city-states united to defend their freedom against the mighty Persian Empire. The Persians, with their vast resources and military power, aimed to subjugate the Greek city-states and expand their empire. However, the Greek city-states fiercely resisted, driven by a desire to preserve their autonomy and way of life. Thermopylae had a great strategic significance in the context of the Greco-Persian Wars. Situated in central Greece, it was a narrow coastal pass flanked by mountains and sea. This geographic feature created a choke point that presented a formidable obstacle to the advancing Persian army. The pass offered the Greeks an opportunity to capitalize on their defensive strengths and restrict the mobility of the Persian forces. The narrowness of Thermopylae made it an ideal location for the Greek city-states to confront the Persians. The terrain limited the number of Persian soldiers who could engage in battle simultaneously, effectively neutralizing the numerical superiority of the Persian army. This bottleneck also forced the Persians to abandon their preferred tactics of wide-ranging maneuvers and cavalry charges, which were rendered impractical in the constrained space. By holding Thermopylae, the Greek city-states aimed to delay the Persian advance and inflict heavy losses on the invaders. The choke point allowed the Greeks to exploit their superior training and discipline, particularly with their use of the phalanx formation, where heavily armored hoplites formed a tight defensive wall with their interlocking shields and long spears. But the battle was not all screaming and clanking of spears and shields. Down under lies something more. Hello, and welcome back to History in Minutes. Today, we'll be taking a look behind the curtains of that infamous Battle of Thermopylae, where planning and betrayal was everyone's cup of tea. The Greek forces. The Greek forces that participated in the Battle of Thermopylae were a coalition of various city-states united in their resistance against the Persian invasion. Under the leadership of King Leonidas I of Sparta, this alliance included prominent states such as Athens, Corinth, Thebes, and others. King Leonidas I of Sparta played a central role in commanding the Greek forces at Thermopylae. Known for their military prowess and discipline, the Spartans were renowned warriors. Trained from a young age in the art of warfare, they were considered among the most formidable soldiers of their time. The Spartan warriors, known as the hoplites, formed the backbone of Greek forces. These hoplites were heavily armed and equipped with bronze armor, including a large circular shield, a helmet, a breastplate, and greaves for leg protection. They wielded long spears known as the dories and short swords as sidearms. What set the Spartans apart was their unwavering dedication to military training and discipline. From childhood, they underwent rigorous physical and combat training, which prepared them to face the rigors of battle. Their training emphasized teamwork, coordination, and the ability to maintain a tightly formed phalanx formation. The phalanx formation was the hallmark of Greek warfare, and the Spartans perfected its execution. In this formation, the hoplites stood shoulder to shoulder, their shields overlapping to form an impenetrable wall. The long spears at the front rank extended outward, presenting a formidable barrier to enemy forces. The Spartan hoplites' discipline and cohesion in battle were key to their success. They demonstrated unwavering bravery, holding their ground against wave after wave of Persian attacks. Their proficiency in the art of close combat allowed them to engage the Persian forces effectively. The Persian forces. The Persian forces that confronted the Greek coalition at the Battle of Thermopylae were a formidable military machine. The size and composition of the Persian army were vast and overwhelming. Estimates suggest that the Persian army consisted of several 100,000 soldiers, making it one of the largest armies of its time. This immense numerical advantage gave the Persians significant power on the battlefield. The Persian army comprised various types of troops, reflecting their diverse military capabilities. Infantry formed a significant portion of their forces, with soldiers equipped with a range of weapons, including swords, spears, and bows. The Persian cavalry was renowned for its mobility and played a crucial role in exploiting weaknesses in the enemy lines. They were adept at hit-and-run tactics, harassing the Greek forces and disrupting their formations. Additionally, the Persians employed archers, who provided ranged support and inflict casualties on the enemy from a distance. In addition to the land forces, the Persians enjoyed naval superiority with their fleet patrolling the nearby coast. The Persian naval support played a vital role in the Battle of Thermopylae. They effectively blockaded Greek naval movements, preventing them from providing substantial reinforcements or conducting significant maneuvers. This naval control allowed the Persians to maintain supply lines and isolate Greek forces, cutting off potential avenues of escape or reinforcement. The Persian Navy, along with their land forces, formed a coordinated military apparatus that aimed to overwhelm the Greek coalition. The vastness of their army and their control of the seas presented significant challenges to the Greek city-states. It was this combination of size, versatility, and naval dominance that posed a formidable threat to the Greeks at Thermopylae, necessitating strategic and tactical ingenuity to overcome these overwhelming odds. Preparing for battle. In preparation for the Battle of Thermopylae, the Greek coalition devised a defensive strategy aimed at maximizing their advantages and countering the overwhelming Persian forces. The Greeks made a strategic decision to take a stand at Thermopylae, recognizing the natural advantages offered by the narrow pass. The Greeks sought to exploit the geography of Thermopylae as a means to restrict the numbers of the Persian army and level the playing field. The narrow pass acted as a bottleneck, limiting the space in which Persians could deploy their massive numbers effectively. By funneling the Persian forces through the pass, the Greeks hoped to neutralize the numerical superiority of the enemy and create a situation where their well-trained hoplites could engage in close-quarters battle. To further enhance their defensive position, the Greeks constructed fortifications across the narrowest point of the pass. They erected a wall that stretched across the width of the pass, forming a barrier that impeded the progress of the Persian army. The wall aimed to obstruct the Persians and force them to confront the Greek forces head-on in a confined space, where the Greeks could maximize the effectiveness of their hoplite phalanx formation. In addition to the wall, the Greeks strengthened their positions with various defensive structures. They built defensive embankments and trenches, further impeding the movement of the Persian forces and providing additional protection for the Greek warriors. These defensive measures were strategically designed to slow down the Persian advance and create a more favorable battlefield for the Greeks. The battle. The Battle of Thermopylae unfolded with the initial advance of the Persian forces encountering resistance from the Greeks at Thermopylae. The Persians faced difficulties in maneuvering their vast numbers through the narrow pass, which played to the advantage of the Greek defenders. The Greek resistance was led by the Spartans and other Greek city-states, who repelled several Persian assaults. The Greeks utilized their phalanx formation, standing shoulder to shoulder in a tightly packed formation to hold their ground against the Persian attacks. The disciplined and coordinated efforts of the Greek hoplites allowed them to withstand the Persian onslaught and maintain their defensive position. However, a traitor named Ephialtes, a local resident, betrayed the Greeks by informing the Persians of a mountain path that could be used to outflank the Greek position. Persians, led by Hydarnes, exploited this secret path and launched a surprise attack from the rear, jeopardizing the Greek defenses. Realizing that their position was compromised, most Greek forces retreated from the battlefield. However, King Leonidas of Sparta and a small force of Spartans and Thespians chose to remain and make a last stand. They fought with exceptional bravery, inflicting heavy losses on the Persians and buying precious time for the remaining Greek allies to regroup and prepare for the ongoing conflict. Ultimately, King Leonidas and his small band of warriors were overwhelmed and perished at the hands of the Persians. However, their valiant stand had a profound impact on the course of the battle and the overall Greco-Persian Wars. It inspired the Greek allies, invigorating their determination to resist the Persian army and rallying them to continue the fight against the Persian forces in subsequent battles. The aftermath. The aftermath of the Battle of Thermopylae witnessed the Persian victory as they secured control of the pass. Despite the heroic resistance of the Greek forces, they were ultimately overwhelmed by the sheer size and relentless attacks of the Persian army. The Persians now had a clear path to continue their advance into central Greece, posing a significant threat to the Greek city-states. Simultaneously with the Battle of Thermopylae, a Greek fleet engaged the Persian navy in the naval battle of Artemision. The Greek fleet managed to achieve a victory, successfully offsetting the loss suffered at Thermopylae. This naval triumph provided a glimmer of hope for the Greeks and helped to boost their morale in the face of the Persian onslaught. In terms of strategic implications, the Greek city-states regrouped and prepared to defend their capital city, Athens. The loss at Thermopylae served as a rallying cry for the Greeks, inspiring them to intensify their resistance against the Persian forces. They recognized the need to fortify their defenses, both on land and at sea, in order to confront the Persian invasion and protect their freedom. Thermopylae had a profound significance in the collective memory of the Greek people. It became a symbol of their resistance and valor in the face of overwhelming odds. The sacrifice of King Leonidas and his warriors, who chose death over surrender, embodied the ideals of bravery, honor, and patriotism. The Battle of Thermopylae became a defining moment in Greek history, representing the unwavering determination of the Greeks to defend their independence and preserve their way of life. This ends today's video. If you learned something new, don't forget to like and subscribe for more content worth your every minute.